Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are presented by the Hula Bowl. This interview is sponsored by Publix. Publix supermarkets are the premier quality food retailer. Stop by today to pick up top of the line produce, baked goods, and groceries. Today I have with me Ty Shelby. He's a defensive end out of Louisiana Monroe. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Hey man, nice to have you on. Got to have one of the top pass rushers in the Sun Belt Conference, so appreciate it. Why don't you go ahead, give us like a brief, background of yourself, if you don't mind. Tell me about maybe like where you're from and how you got there to ULM.
So originally I'm from Houston, Texas. I live about 20 minutes southeast of Houston, called Friendswood. That's where I went to high school, Friendswood High School under Robert Koopman. My senior year, I was recruited by a good amount of schools, and ULM approached me about an offer from the original staff, Matt Viator, and he offered me, and I felt like ULM was the perfect fit for me, to be honest. It reminded me a lot of my hometown. A small school, but where really everybody knows one another, and it's easy to get around. You really don't need a car or anything, so really everything was close. And then in the process of going to college, the first time, you're a freshman compared to everybody else, but it was a blessing, to be honest. I was able to learn under a bunch of guys, Donald Lewis, Caleb Tucker, all the guys that I looked up that showed me the way of the game, the way, how it's supposed to be played, the way you're supposed to approach it. And so really it was just a blessing to be able to go there.
Awesome. So, interesting. Are you one of these super seniors? I mean, is that kind of like what you designate yourself as these days?
Yeah, I consider myself a super senior. Everybody else consider me the old man of the team. So, it's really good.
Gotcha. So, no, I was just wondering, like, did you stay back because of COVID or what? I'm just trying to remember like your situation there.
I stayed back because of COVID, and also it presented an opportunity for me to finish my master's program. So that's most of the main reason why I decided to stay back.
Awesome. So, definitely getting a degree there. Heck, if somebody else gonna pay for it, go for it. Take it, roll with it, ride it. So I
Uh,
get it. Um, let's talk about you as a prospect. Obviously, we invited you out to the Hula Bowl. We feel like you got a lot going for yourself. This is what one of our scouts had to say about you. So give me just a second. Um, Said physically possesses good length for the position, good overall athletic ability. Occasionally asked to drop into like flat coverage. As a pass rusher, has the ability to get skinny and to slip between the blockers and make plays in the backfield. So, how would you define yourself as a prospect? What do you feel is like the best thing you bring to the table?
I say really my versatility. This year's with the new coaching staff, I had to change my role a little bit. I never was used to dropping in the coverage, but really just knowing that I can become one of the top pass rushers, but also, be able to have that linebacker sense of me, knowing that, where I need to drop, where my eyes need to be, and just things of that matter.
Awesome. So, again, like you said, versatility is key. You need to be able to, run in a whole lot of different schemes, do whatever the coaches ask you to do. You've been there under a couple of different coaching staffs, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and obviously, being there for a while, a lot of people may look up to you as, like you said, like being the old man. So, do you see yourself as a leader there on that defense? Talk to me for a little bit about how you view yourself as a leader.
I really see myself as a leader really because, I really voice my opinion a lot. I really try to get the younger guys more engaged, especially the freshmen coming in saying, hey, I know you have time, but the time goes quick. Look at me right now. But really, I try to bring them in, show them the ropes, try to stay after practice with them, show them the drills. This thing's how it's supposed to be done. You need to be on time for workouts because, we're trying to build a program here. especially with the new coaching staff. They were looking to me to become a leader, and I was ready to accept that role real quick.
Great. So, I mean, again, a guy who's very versatile, willing to take on that role as a leader, which I think is obviously important. Um, let's kind of shift our gears a little bit and kind of work our way towards talking a little bit more football. Let's talk about like that daily grind. When you're preparing for those opponents. So, walk me through like a typical week of you. Trying to maybe look at dive into the film room, study your opponents, get into the weight room, get yourself better and prepared. Go ahead and talk about that if you don't mind.
So really, a typical day would be, I say, like Tuesday, Wednesday. I really try to wake up around 6 a.m. I try to be the first one really in the film room, trying to get a jump on our opponent before our coaches even say anything about them, seeing their tendencies, their favorite plays, formations, anything that will help me get a jump on the game. And then after that, typical schoolwork, try to get that out the way. And then when it comes to practice, I try to simulate what I learned from watching film into practice, knowing, okay, out of this certain formation, they only run these top two plays, and try to adjust it, on and off of that. And then after practice, really, I stay after as much as I can, if I don't have any homework, anything, but as much as I can, just working on pass rush, body lean, getting off the ball, anything small that I feel like I needed to work on, especially from the previous game, is what I try to incorporate into a typical football day.
Gotcha. And just very briefly, talk about your approach to the weight room there, and maybe even your favorite lift.
I say I really attack the weight room. It really shows how much that you do in the weight room translate to the game. I say my favorite exercise really is power clean. It shows really how explosive you are getting off the ball and really just trying to throw your opponents around.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, obviously, you have been able to throw your opponents around somewhat there for ULM. I mean, making a whole lot of great plays. Let's talk about some of those great plays. Give me some of the highlights of your career. Maybe even a play or a moment that sticks out.
I say my highlight of my career was really the start of the season this year, with Kentucky, 2 sacks, a tackle for loss, two tackles, especially one where I had to run down the field probably about 20 or 30 yards trying to catch a receiver. But really, I say that game really sticks out because it just shows, how much I want it, how much I'm willing to, give to the team and show everybody what I'm capable of, especially playing an SEC school known we're in the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, getting 2 sacks against an SEC opponent is pretty sweet, and being able to run down some guys also that play like a skill position, like a receiver, and you're not necessarily asked to do that, man. Like that's not really your job. That just happened to be like the situation at the moment. So, I mean,
Yes, sir.
obviously, your job really is to go out there and sack your opponents. I want you to think for a second, though. When you look at maybe perhaps like the players like in the league right now, who is the one quarterback that you really want to get your hands on and maybe get that one sack on him when you get the opportunity?
Oh, let me think. I say Tom Brady because he's considered,
If he's still there, because I mean
oh, for sure.
he continues to defy father time and just wants to stick around forever. So
Yes,
um,
sir.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, are there any players at the next level that you yourself try to emulate, study, and maybe bring parts of their game to yours?
Really, there's only 3 players I really have in mind. I'll really say, J.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, and even Von Miller. Just J.J. Watt's work ethic, and then Von Miller and Khalil Mack, the way they can get off the ball, their pass rush moves. I really try to simulate that and try to take aspects of their game and incorporate into mine.
Awesome. Well, I mean, definitely you're talking about there like the elite in the NFL for sure. There, I mean, a lot of very respectable talented players there. So um, let's go ahead and talk about some other things. One thing I learned about you is at one point or another you actually played some basketball there at ULM. I find that that's kind of interesting. Why don't we chat about that a little bit? Go for it.
So really, it came as a surprise to me. My head coach, Matt Viator at the time, brought me in. It was just like, hey, Keith Richard, the head basketball coach, wanted to see if you wanted to play basketball because one of their current players decided to leave, and play professionally across seas. And so really, I thought about it over time because I was just like, I haven't played basketball in about 3 years since high school, but knowing it was a great opportunity for me to not only increase my like flexibility, things that you never really do on the field that you can do on the court really helps a lot to translate in football. And I knew, Julius Peppers did it. And so I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. Let me see what I got.
Well, hey
And so
man, I
really,
mean, you never know. You could be the next Julius Peppers. I mean, it would be sweet to get that kind of on you as well. So I mean,
mhm,
yeah, obviously, like you said, a lot of the skills of being a basketball player do translate to the next level. So, how was your time as a basketball player? I mean, any great moments there that you want to share?
uh, it was. I'm not gonna lie. At first, that first practice, totally different football. You never used to that much running. Like I remember the coach pulled me aside and he was just like, you can take a break if you want. As soon as he said that, I went to the side. I just had to catch my breath real quick. I was going through it, but really, the thing that really sticks out, my favorite moment is really, I haven't been able to jump that while, so I say during the practice, I drove to the baseline and dunked it, and they were just like, I said, yeah, yeah, I still got a little something in my tool belt.
Nice, man. Well, I mean, obviously being able to throw down, I mean, you need that. I mean, you need to be able to do that on the court for sure.
Uh-huh.
So, not necessarily something you can do on the football field. So, but we do know, like you said, I mean, there have been some guys that have some basketball experience that have done very well in the NFL. So, hopefully those experiences will really help you, as you transition. Um, to the NFL. But I mean, obviously, first, you're going to be coming to our event, down in Orlando. So really looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
I do want to get a chance to meet Ty Shelby a little bit, like outside of a football player. Tell me something interesting about yourself, something unique, fun, hobbies, interests, anything you want to chat about. Go for it.
Really, there's two things I really enjoy. One of them is cooking. And so when COVID initially happened, my mom made a schedule of, who got breakfast, who got lunch, who got dinner. And so, we were eating the same typical things, but I was like, maybe let me try to spice things up, switch it around, see if I can, find something on YouTube and probably just add my own little twist to it. And so I said, really, I enjoy cooking, and the guys at school, sometimes I was giving them plates, and they were telling me how good it was. So that's what I really enjoy. Is my first love is cooking, and then my second one I'll say is fishing. But I don't go fishing a lot. I'm still in the process of learning it. I've only been fishing probably 3 or 4 times in my life. Caught Out of those 4 times, probably caught something once. But I really just enjoy the peace and quiet that you get from fishing.
Awesome. So as a cook, what's like your best dish? Like you got like that one like signature dish that you like to cook?
Oh, Parmesan and crusted chicken.
Nice.
Yep.
That sounds fantastic. I would look forward to that as well. So, um, trying to think of maybe some other questions that I could ask you just to kind of dive a little bit into your character a little bit. Um, have you ever thought about perhaps like if you maybe had one particular charity or cause to really donate to? I mean, obviously you're gonna, you know, get to the NFL, maybe get that paycheck. What sort of cause might you, really, put forth some of your, hard-earned cash towards?
I say really cancer research. I know personally a close friend of mine, his mom was fighting cancer and she was trying to keep it low and try to stay motivated. And so really, I'll say that really is a big cause for me knowing that, people are really going through this and, I want to be able to help as much as possible.
Awesome. Well, I mean, definitely a whole lot of people affected by that. So I really appreciate that. Hopefully, you will get a chance to, get that big fat paycheck from the NFL one day, and perhaps, help to, fund research and stuff for those sorts of things. So
So,
excellent. Um, as we wrap up, I want you to take a moment, address all those scouts that may want to know you, man, like, and maybe like why they, need to pay attention to you, as you're, down in Orlando at our event, maybe going back, watching some of your film. Um, why should they take a chance on you, draft you, sign you? What would you bring to their franchise?
I say really, as I said earlier, I'm smart, versatile, athletic. I've been put in different positions through different coaching staff. I had four position coaches in my 6 years at ULM. I played from DN to D tackle to even nose guard on pass rush situations. And I say it really just shows, how much I'm able to really take aspects of the game from different positions and able to still learn most of the playbook and everything that everybody else has to do. And so that really helps me in my game knowing that if the guy behind me is doing this, maybe I have a two-way go, or I have to drop in the coverage knowing that okay, he has the high post, I got the seam right here. So I say really that shows, I'm very versatile, I'm very smart to know that I can basically play any position on the D line if I'm given the chance.
Gotcha. I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, obviously, a guy who, again, like we had already mentioned, possesses good length. I know you got some pretty long arms, 33-inch arms. Pretty decent size for the position, 6'4", 260 pounds. Which I mean, obviously, that translates very well to the next level. So a lot of people are going to be paying attention to you for sure. A guy like you said can be versatile, can drop into coverage, and maybe even chase down some receivers. So again, Ty, appreciate you sitting down with me for this interview. All right.
I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Once again, this interview was sponsored by Publix. You could see Ty Shelby and several other athletes down at the Hula Bowl on January 15th, and purchase your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Thanks again, Ty.